When I think about this play, I think about one man who has a mission, a kind of a dream, something that he knows that he has to do. So the play that you see is a version of the play 1776 written by Peter Stone and Sherman Edwards, but we really made it into our own play. And I hope you enjoy the show.
I have come to the conclusion that one useless man is called a disgrace, that two are called a law firm, and that three or more become a Congress. And by God, I have had this Congress. For 10 years, King George and his Parliament have gold, cullied, and diddled these colonies with their illegal taxes, Stamp Acts, Townshend Acts, Sugar Acts, Tea Acts, and when we dared stand up like men, they stopped our trade, seized our ships, blockaded our ports, burned our towns, and spilled our blood. And still this Congress won't grant any of my proposals on independence, even so much as the courtesy of open debate. Good God, what in hell are they waiting for?
I now call Congress's attention to the petition of Mr. Malcoy May, who claims $20 compensation for his dead mule. It seems the animal was employed transporting luggage in the service of the Congress.
The question then would seem to be one of the patients, or if the animal expired, not well carried, but after being unloaded, that surely would be dropped dead on its own time.
Nothing is ever solved in foul, fetid, fuming, foggy, filthy Philadelphia.
John, is that you carrying on, John?
Well, Abigail, I have such a desire to knock heads together.
I know, my dearest, I know, but that's because you make everything so complicated. It's quite simple, really. Tell the Congress to declare independency, sign your name, get out of there, and hurry home to me. The children have dysentery. Little Tom keeps turning blue, Abby has the measles, and I'm coming down with the flu. They say we might get smallpox.
What else is new? In my last letter, Abigail, I told you that the king has collected 12,000 German mercenaries to send against us. I asked you to organize the ladies and make saltpeter for gunpowder. Have you done as I asked?
No, John, I have not.
Why have you not?
Because he neglected to tell us how saltpeter is made.
By treating sodium nitrate with potassium chloride, of course.
Oh yes, of course.
Will it be done then?
I'm afraid there's a more urgent problem, John.
More urgent?
There's one thing every woman's missed in Massachusetts Bay. Not you, you egotist. Pay heed to what I say. I've gone from Framingham to Boston and haven't found a pin. Don't you know there's a war on, says each tradesman with a grin. Well, we won't make saltpeter until you send us pins.
Pins, madam? Saltpeter.
Pins.
Saltpeter.
Pins.
Peter.
Pins.
Done, madam, done.
Done, John. Done. Hurry home, John.
As soon as I'm able.
And don't stop writing. It's all I have.
Every day, my dearest Fern.
Franklin,
You heard what I just suffered.
well, heard, of course I heard, along with the rest of Philadelphia. Lord, your voice is piercing, John.
I wish my arguments were. By God, Franklin, when will they make up their minds? Why, damn it, Fat George has declared us in rebellion. Why in bloody hell can't they?
John, really, you talk as if independence were the rule. It's never been done before. No colony has ever broken from the parent stem in the history of the world.
Damn it, Franklin, you make us sound treasonous.
Do I? Treason. Treason is a charge invented by winners as an excuse for hanging the losers.
I have more to do than stand here listening to you quote yourself.
No, that was a new one.
We're at war.
To defend ourselves, nothing more. We expressed our displeasure, the English moved against us, and we in turn have resisted. Now our fellow congressmen want to effect a reconciliation before it becomes a war.
Reconciliation, my ass. The people want independence.
The people have read Mr. Paine's Common Sense. I doubt the Congress has. John, why don't you Give it up. Nobody listens to you. You're obnoxious and disliked.
I'm not promoting John Adams. I'm promoting independence.
Evidently, they cannot help connecting the two.
What are you suggesting?
But someone else in Congress proposed.
Never. Well, who did you have in mind?
I don't know. I haven't really given it much thought.
Hey, Daddy, you sent for me!
Never.
Hello, Daddy!
Hey, Richard.
Richard, John and I need some advice.
If mine give, it's all yours. You know that.
Thank you, Richard. As you know, the cause we support has come to a complete standstill. Now, why do you suppose that is?
Simple. Johnny here is not pretend dislike.
Yes, that's true. What's the solution, I wonder?
Get someone else from the Congress to propose.
Richard, that's brilliant! Wasn't that just brilliant, John?
Brilliant.
Yes. Now the question remains, who can it be? The man we need must belong to a delegation publicly committed to support independence, and at the present time, only Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Delaware have declared our way.
And Virginia, Becky. Don't forget Virginia.
No, I haven't, Richard. How could I? But strictly speaking, while Virginia's views on independence are well known, your legislature in Williamsburg has never formally authorized its delegation here in Congress to support the cause. Well, now, if we could think of a Virginian with enough influence to go down there and persuade the House of Burgesses.
Well, damn me if I forgot someone.
Who?
Me!
Why didn't I think of that?
I'll leave tonight. Well, hell, right now, if you like. I'll stop up at Stratford, just long enough for a fresh visit. And straight to the matter. Virginia, the land that gave us our glorious commander-in-chief, George Washington, will now give the continent its proposal on independence. And when Virginia proposes, the South is bound to follow. And where the South goes, the middle colonies go. Gentlemen, a salute to Virginia, the mother of American independence.
Incredible. Free and he hasn't even left yet. So, what makes you so sure you can do it?
Ha! My name is Richard Henry Lee, the oldest family and the oldest colony. See, here Lee, there Lee, everywhere Lee. Social leave, politic leave,
Financially, fraternally.
made my wife use my bed if I can't deliver, as I said, a resolution on independence.
Spoken modestly. Oh, God help us.
He will, John. He will.
They say that God in heaven is everyone's God.
Amen.
I'll admit that God in heaven is everyone's God. And I tell you, John, right. God leans a little on the side of leaves. Leaves or Virginia. Here a leaf, there a leaf, everywhere a leaf.
When do you leave?
Immediately.
And when will you return?
Shortly. And I'll come back triumphantly. Ho-ho!
That was the most revolting display I've ever witnessed.
They're a warm-blooded people, Virginians.
Not him, Franklin, you. If you'd come out and asked him straight, he'd been gone a half hour ago.
Cheer up, John. This moment, our cause is again right in time. Sitting straight to saddle and in full gallop for Virginia.
Yes?
I'm Dr. Lyman Hall, new delegate from Georgia.
I'm Andrew McNair, congressional custodian. If you'll be needing anything at all, just holler out McNair, as you'll hear the others do. There won't be too long to wait.
Where does the Georgia delegation belong?
Oh, they mill about over in the corner, near the two Carolinas.
Fetch me a mug of rum.
Mr. Hopkins, you'll be pleased to meet Dr. Lyman Hall.
They don't need a doctor, damn it.
You delegate from Georgia.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I'm Stephen Hopkins, old delegate from Rhode Island. McNair, 2 more mugs of rum.
I fear it's a little early in the day.
Oh, nonsense. It's a medicinal fact that rum gives a man's heart started in the morning. I'm surprised you didn't know that. That's Virginia's the oldest man in Congress.
San Francisco called her by almost a year.
Rum!
Tell me, where does Georgia stand on the question of independence?
Well, South Carolina
From whichever Carolina you said he's from. God knows I can't keep him straight.
Your servant, Mr. Rutledge.
Well, you've met the long and short of it now. Nick here's only 26. He's the youngest member of Congress.
Except for Ben Franklin.
Rum! Rum? Where'd you go for it, man? Jamaica?
Tell me, Dr. Hall, where does George stand on independence and prejudice? I'm here without instructions, able to vote on my own personal convictions.
And they are
Personal. Dr. Hall, the Deep South speaks with one voice. It is traditional. Even more, it is historical.
Have you met Delaware? True, Junco, and Unum.
Speak plain, Rutledge. You know I can't follow none of your damn French.
Latin, Colonel McLean, a tribute to the eternal peace and harmony of the Delaware delegation.
What are you saying, man? You know perfectly well neither Rodney or I can stand this little wart.
Gentlemen, please. This is Dr. Lyman Hall, Caesar Rodney, George Reed, and Colonel Thomas McKinney.
Where do you stand on independence, sir?
With South Carolina, it seems. I'll leave the doctor in your excellent company.
Tell me, sir, will you get on medicine or theology?
Both, Mr. Rodney. Which can be a service.
By all means, physician first, then we should see about the other.
I'll call it your convenience, sir. I trust, Caesar, when you're through converting the poor fellow to independence, you'll give the opposition a fair crack at him.
Too late, John. Once I get under their got it. Dr. Lyman Hall, this is John Davis.
An honor, sir. Your servant.
Forgive me, but how can anyone see you when you insist on standing in Mr. Dickinson's shadow? James also possible.
Sir, an honor, sir. Good Lord, you have the honor to be Dr. Franklin?
Yes, I have that honor. Unfortunately, the gout accompanies the honor. McNair! Been living too high again, eh, Pappy? Stephen, I only wish King George felt like my big toe. All over. McNair, fetch a pillow and 2 more rounds of rum. Good morning, John.
Where's that idiot Lee? Has he returned yet? I'll see him.
Oh, softly, John. Your voice is hurting my foot.
One more day, Franklin. That's how long I'll wait, not a minute longer. That strutting Popinjay was so damn sure of himself, he's had time to bring back a dozen proposals by now.
Tell me, James, how do you explain the strange, monumental quietude that Congress has been treated to these past 30 days? Has the ill wind of independence finally blown itself out? For myself, I must confess that a month free of New England's noise is far more therapeutic than a month in the country. Don't you agree, James?
Well,
Pray, Mr. Adams, look for your voice, sir. It cannot be far, and God knows we need the entertainment in this Congress.
Yeah.
Congratulations, John. You just made your greatest contribution to independence. You kept your flap shut.
Gentlemen, the usual morning festivities concluded, I will now call this Congress to order. Mr. Johnson,
The Second Continental Congress, meeting in the city of Philadelphia, is now in session. 7th of June, 1776. The 388th meetings. The Honorable John Hancock of Massachusetts Bay, President.
thank you, Mr. Thompson. Mr. McNair, the stores of rum and other drinking spirits are hereby closed to the colony of Rhode Island for a period of 3 days.
Johnny, you didn't do that!
Sit down, Mr. Hopkins. You've abused the privilege. The chair takes this opportunity to welcome Dr. Lyman Hall of Georgia to this Congress and hopes he will make the best of it. My God, Miss Hopkins. The Secretary will now read the roll.
All members present with the following exceptions. Mr. Charles Carroll of Maryland, Mr. Samuel Adams of Massachusetts, Mr. Button Gwinnett of Georgia,
Island Sun.
The Royal Governor of New Jersey, sir.
As that title might suggest, sir, we are not in touch at the present time.
Yes, right. The weather, Mr. Jefferson of Virginia. Mr. Jefferson!
Present, sir.
May we hear the weather?
87 degrees of temperature, 30.6 inches of mercury. Wind from the southwest for the rest of today, and tonight I'm going home.
On business?
Family business.
To the Commander, Army of the United Colonies in New York. Dispatch number 1137. To the Honorable Congress, John Hancock, President. Dear Sir, it is with grave apprehension that I have learned this day of the sailing from Halifax, Nova Scotia, of a considerable force of British troops in the company of foreign mercenaries, and under the command of General Sir William Howe. There can be no doubt that their destination is New York, for to take and hold this city and the Hudson Valley beyond would serve to separate New England from the other colonies, permitting both sections to be crushed in turn. Sadly, I see no way of stopping them at the present time, as my army is absolutely falling apart. My military chest is completely exhausted. My commissary general has strained his credit to the last. My quartermaster has no food, no arms, no ammunition, and my troops are in a state of near mutiny. I pray God that relief arrives before the Armada, but fear will not. Yours obedient, George Washington.
Mr. President, Colonel McKean, surely we managed to promote the gloomiest man on this continent to the head of our troops. Those dispatches are the most depressing accumulation of disaster, doom, and despair in the entire annals of military history. And furthermore, please, Colonel McKean, it's too hot. Yes, it's a roll of snow. General Washington will continue wording his dispatches as he sees fit, and I believe we will all pray that he finds happier thoughts to convey in the near future. Mr. Thompson?
Dr. Flag Bartlett of New Hampshire.
Resolved that for the duration of the present hostilities, the Congress discourage every type of extravagance, dissipation, elaborate funerals, and other expensive diversions, especially all horse racing.
Richard, we're pleased to see you.
Is it done, Lee?
Done, or something to leave. Mr. President, I return with the following resolution. Resolved that these United Colonies are and right ought to be free and independent states. They are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
Mr. President, I second the proposal.
All right, the proposal has been moved and seconded.
Mr. President, Pennsylvania moves, as always, that the question of independence be postponed indefinitely.
I second the motion. Judge Wilson, in your eagerness to be loved, you seem to have forgotten that Pennsylvania may not second its own motion. Go ahead, second.
You would, you little weasel.
The motion to postpone has been moved and seconded.
On the motion to postpone indefinitely the resolution of independency or proceed to debate. All those in favor of debate say yea. All those in postponement say nay. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire favors debate and says yea.
New Hampshire.
Yea.
Massachusetts. Massachusetts, having borne the brunt of the king's tyranny. I said tyranny. Massachusetts now and for all time says yay.
Massachusetts says yea. Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Where's Rhode Island?
Rhode Island's out visiting the necessary. After what Rhode Island's consumed, I can't say I'm surprised.
Rhode Island passes. Connecticut?
Well, Connecticut has, till now, been against this proposal. Our legislator
Pennsylvania says nay. Delaware.
Delaware. Everyone independence says yay.
Delaware says yay. Maryland.
Maryland would welcome independence if it were given, but is highly skeptical that it can be taken. Maryland says nay.
Maryland says nay. Virginia.
Virginia, the first colony, says yay.
Virginia says yay. North Carolina.
North Carolina respectfully yields to South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Mr. President, although we in South Carolina have never seriously considered the question of independence, when a gentleman proposes it, attention must be paid. However, we in the Deep South, like our friends in the North, have no cause for impatience at the present time. If at some future date it is the wish of all our sister colonies to effect separation, we will not stand in the way. But for the time being, South Carolina will wait and watch. Vote is nay.
North Carolina says nay.
North Carolina
Says nay. I know, Georgia seems to be split right down the middle on this issue. The people are against it, but I'm for it. But until I can figure that out, I better lean a little towards their side. Georgia says nay. Georgia says nay. Where is Rhode Island?
I'm coming. Hold your damn horses. All right, where does she stand?
5 for debate, 5 for postponement, 1 abstention, and 1 absence.
So it's up to me. Well, in all my years, I never heard, seen, nor smelled an issue so dangerous it couldn't be talked about. Hell yeah, I'm up for debating anything. Rhode Island says yay.
Rhode Island says yes.
McNair, get Hopkins a rum.
But you said...
Get him the whole damn barrel if he chooses. All right. I now declare this Congress a committee of the whole for the purpose of debating Virginia's resolution on independence. Mr. Dickinson?
Well now, Mr. Adams, you've got your way at last. The matter may now be discussed. I must confess that I'm almost relieved. There's one question I've been fairly itching to ask you. Why?
Why what, Mr. Dickinson?
Why independence, Mr. Adams?
For the obvious reason that our continued association with Great Britain has grown intolerable.
Yeah, that's right. True, Mr. Adams. To you, then I suggest you sever your ties immediately. But please, be kind enough to leave the rest of us where we are. Personally, I have no objection to being part of the greatest empire on earth. Enjoying its attention, sharing its benefits.
What benefits? Crippling taxes, brutal repressions, abolished rights.
Is that all England means you, sir? Is that all the affection and pride you can muster for the nation that bore you? For the greatest, most civilized nation on the face of this planet. And for what, sir? Tell me. For you? Some are patriots like General Washington. Some are anarchists like Thomas Paine. Some even are internationalists like Dr. Franklin. But you, sir, you are merely an agitator, disturbing, creating disorder, and endangering the public welfare. And for what, sir? Your petty little personal complaints. Your taxes are too high. Well, sir, so are mine. Come now, Mr. Adams. If you have grievances, which I'm sure you have, our present system must find gentler means of redressing them. Short of revolution. That's what he wants. Nothing else to satisfy him. Violence, rebellion, treason. Now, Mr. Adams, are those the acts of an Englishman?
Englishmen? Americans, Dickinson.
That's Englishman.
Please, Mr. Dickinson, but must you start bagging? How is a man to stay asleep?
Please, Dr. Franklin, but must you start speaking? How is a man to stay awake? Well, promise to be quiet, sir. I promise you everyone here prefers you remain asleep.
If I'm to hear myself called an Englishman, sir, I assure you, I prefer to remain asleep.
What's so terrible about being called an Englishman? The English don't seem to mind it.
And nor would I, were I given the full rights of an Englishman.
Yeah.
But to call me one without those rights is like calling holding an office, a bull. He's grateful for the honor, but would much rather have restored what's rightfully his.
When did you first notice they were missing, sir? Fortunately, Dr. Franklin, our sister colonies maintain a high regard for their mother country.
Higher certainly than she feels for them. Never was such a valuable possession, so stupidly and recklessly managed, this entire continent by the British Crown. Our industry discouraged, our resources pillaged, and worst of all, our very character stifled. Please form a new face here, Mr. Dickinson. Rougher, simpler, more violent, more enterprising, and less refined. We're a new nationality. We require a new nation.
That is your opinion, Dr. Franklin, but as I said, the people feel quite differently.
What do you know about the people, Mr. Dickinson? You represent only yourself.
That's
And
right.
with this status quo you keep imploring the people to preserve for their own good is nothing more than the eternal preservation of your own property.
You have an annoying talent for making such delightful words as property sound quite distasteful. What in God's name is wrong with property? I must remind you that most of us came to these shores first to secure rights to property, and we hold those rights no less than the rights you speak of.
So safe, so fat, so comfortable in
And
Pennsylvania.
what is this independence but the private grievances of Massachusetts? Why, even your own cousin, so busy with his seditious activities in Boston, has no time to attend this Congress, is a fugitive with a price above his
Slowly, Mr. Dickinson. I would remind you that the price that covers Sam Adams' head also covers mine. We are wanted together.
What did you expect? You both dressed up like red savages to commit piracy against one of His Majesty's ships. And a death so embarrassing to your sister colonies that even your good friend, Dr. Franklin, offered to pay for the spilled tea from his own pocket.
I am usually able to speak for myself, Mr. Dickinson.
Then tell me this. What good can come from this radicalism and civil disorder? Where can it lead us but chaos, mob rule, and anarchy? And why, in God's name, is it always Boston that breaks the king's peace? My dear Congress, we mustn't adopt this evil measure. It is the work of the devil. Leave it where it belongs, in New England.
Brother Dickinson, New England has been fighting the devil for more than 100 years.
Well then, Brother Sherman, the devil has been winning hands down. Why, he's sitting in this Congress now. Don't let him deceive you. This proposal is all his doing. It may bear Virginia's name, but it reeks of Adams, and more Adams. Don't look at him, ready to lead this entire continent down the fiery path of total destruction.
That's right.
Come on, Dickinson.
Why can't you acknowledge what already exists? It's been more than a year since Concord and Lexington. And we are at war right now.
You are at war, Mr. Adams, Boston and John Adams, but you will never speak for Pennsylvania.
Sensible bird, Mr. Tommy. Sit down, you little roach, or I'll knock you down. Sit down, all three of you. Mr. McNair, do something about these damn flies. Fetch me a rope. Do something about the flies first. I've only got 2 hands. Christ, it's hot. Please do go on, gentlemen. You're making the only breeze in Philadelphia.
be one nation, Rutledge.
A nation of sovereign states, united for our mutual protection, but separate for our individual pursuits. That is what we've understood it to be. And that is what we will support, as soon as everyone supports it.
You see, Mr. Adams, we must see where we stand in regards to one another before we make a decision. For if we do not know the nature of the beast before unleashing it, then surely it will end in devouring us all.
For once in your life, Wilson, take a chance. I say the time is now. It may never come again.
The clock is fast, Mr. Adams. I say we're not yet ripe for independence.
Not right? Hell, we're rotting for want of
Gentlemen, please. What in God's name is the infernal hurry? Why must this question be settled now?
What's wrong with me now, Mr. Chase?
General Washington is in the field. If he is defeated, as it now appears, we'll be inviting the hangman. But if by some miracle he shall actually win, we can then declare anything we damn please.
Sentiments, North Carolina, exactly.
Has it ever occurred to either of you that an army needs something to fight for? A cause, a purpose, a flag of its own?
Mr.
Down.
Adams, how can a nation of 2 million souls stand up to an empire of 10 million? Think of it, 10 million. How do we compensate for that shortage?
It's simple, Mr. Chase. Increase and multiply.
How's that?
With spirit, we will more than compensate. I tell you that there is a spirit out there with the people that is sadly lacking in this Congress.
Yes, of course. Now it's spirits. Why didn't I think of that? No arms, no navy, no weapons, no friends, no treasury, but bless our soul's spirit. Dr. Franklin, Mr. Reed, Mr. Rodney, Colonel McKean, why have you joined this incendiary little man, this Boston radical, this agitator, this demagogue, this madman?
You're calling me a madman, you fribble. Easy, you and your Pennsylvania proprietors, you cool, considerate men, you keep to the rear of every issue so that if we should go under, you will remain
That's
afloat.
right. Calling me a coward.
Yes.
Madman.
Landlord.
Lawyer.
South Carolina calls the question.
What are you doing? Sit.
South Carolina deserves to end the debate and call the question of independence.
Question has been called and seconded. Mr. Secretary?
All those in favor of the resolution on independency, as proposed by the colony of Virginia, signify by saying, Mr. President, Pennsylvania.
Mr. President, could you repeat the proposal? I seem to have forgotten it.
Resolved, that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent. I beg your pardon. I'm the Reverend John Huntington, the delegate from New Jersey.
Dr. Franklin, I regret I must be the bearer of unhappy tidings. Your son, the royal governor of New Jersey, is taken prisoner and has been moved under guard to the colony of Connecticut for safety.
Is he unarmed, sir?
The last I heard, sir, he was.
And why the long face? I hear Connecticut is an excellent location. Why they arrest the little bastard?
Our New Jersey legislator has recalled the old delegate to this Congress and has sent a new one.
Quickly, men, where do you stand on independence?
Oh, haven't I made that clear? I suppose I haven't, but that was why the change was made. We were instructed to vote for it.
Mr. President, Massachusetts is now ready for the vote on independence. And reminds the chair of its privilege that it can decide all votes that are deadlocked.
I won't forget, Mr. Adams. The chair would like to take this opportunity to welcome the Reverend Witherspoon to this conference and appoint him congressional chaplain and will accept the post. Mr. Vice President. Very well. Mr. Secretary, you will now
independence as proposed by the colony of Virginia, signified by...
Mr. President, Pennsylvania moves that any vote for independence must be unanimous.
I second motion. Judge Wilson?
No votes ever had to be unanimous, damn it.
Yes, but this one must be.
On what grounds?
That no colony be torn from its mother country without its own consent.
Hear, hear.
But it'll never be unanimous.
If you say so. There's been moved and seconded that the vote on independence must be unanimous in order to carry. All those in favor signify by saying yay.
Yay.
Yay. 6 colonies say yay. All those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Mr. Secretary, New York abstains courteously.
New York abstains.
Mr. Morris, why does New York constantly abstain? Why doesn't New York simply stay in New York? Very well. The vote is tied. Principles of independence have no greater advocate in Congress than its president. And that is why I must join those who vote for unanimity.
What are you doing, John? You've sunk us.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Don't you see that any colony who opposes independence will be forced to fight on the side of Britain, that will be setting brother against brother, that our new nation will carry out its emblem, the mark of Cain? I see no other way. Either we stay where we are, or together we walk together. Okay, please continue, Mr. Johnson.
A unanimous vote being necessary to carry. If any be opposed to the resolution on independence as proposed by the colony of Virginia, signify by saying...
Just a moment, Mr. President.
For heaven's sake, let me get through once!
We need a postponement.
On what grounds?
That how can we vote on independency without a written declaration of some sort?
What sort of declaration?
Defining all our aims and goals and the reasons for independence and so on and so forth.
Well, we know those, don't we?
Oh, God, of course we know them, but what about the rest of the world? Certainly we require the aid of a powerful nation like France or Spain in order to carry independence.
Come now, Mr. Adams, you have to be better than that. Answer straight. What would be its purpose?
To place before mankind the common sense of the subject in terms so plain and firm as to command their assent.
Mr. Jefferson, are you seriously suggesting that we publish a paper declaring to all the world that an illegal rebellion is in reality a legal one?
Why, Mr. Dickinson, I'm surprised at you. You should know that a rebellion is always legal in the first person. Our rebellion. It is only in the third person, their rebellion, that it becomes illegal. I second the motion to postpone the vote on independence for a period of time sufficient for the writing of a declaration.
It has been moved and seconded, Mr. Secretary.
All those in favor of the motion to postpone signify by saying yay.
Yay!
6 colonies say yay. Against?
Nay.
6 colonies say nay. Here abstains courteously.
Mr. Morris, what the hell goes on in New York?
I'm sorry, but our legislator never sent down any explicit instructions on anything.
Nothing? That is impossible.
Have you ever witnessed a meeting of the New York State Legislature? They talk very fast, and nothing ever gets done.
I sympathize, Mr. Morris. The vote again being tied, the chair decides in favor of postponement. So ruled. A committee will now be formed to manage the declaration. Said document to be written, debated, and approved by the beginning of July, 3 weeks hence, at which time Virginia's resolution on independence will finally be voted. Very well. Will the following men please serve on the declaration? Mr. John Adams, Mr. Livingston, Mr. Sherman, and of course Mr. Lee.
Excuse me, but I must be returned to the sovereign country of Virginia. Therefore, I must decline.
respectfully. Very well, I suppose we could leave the four-man committee.
Just a moment, Mr. Preston. This business needs a Virginian, and I propose a replacement. Mr. Thomas Jefferson.
No, Mr. Adams, no. Very well, Mr. Adams. Mr. Jefferson will serve. I have to go home too
Move
to my
adjourn.
wife.
Second.
No, wait, it's been 6 months. Any objections? Yes, I have objections. So rule Congress stands adjourned. I need to see my wife, I tell you.
So, which one of us is going to write it?
Mr. Adams, I say you should write it. To your legal mind and brilliance, we defer.
Well, if I'm the one to do it, they'll run their quill pens through it. I'm obnoxious and disliked. You know that. Yes, I know that. What about you, Franklin? You should write it.
But, Mr. Adams, the things I write are only light extemporánea. I won't put politics on paper. It's a mania. So I refuse to use the pen in Pennsylvania.
What about you, Mr. Irving? You should write it.
But, Mr. Adams, I cannot write with any style or proper etiquette. I don't know a preposition predicate. I'm just a simple cobbler from Connecticut.
What about you, Mr. Livingston?
But, Mr. Adams, dear Mr. Adams, I've just been presented with a new son by the noble Stuart, and am going home to celebrate and pop a cork with all the Livingstons together, back in old New York City.
Mr. Jefferson, will you write it?
Mr. Adams, leave me alone.
It's your duty, damn it.
Fine, but this does not change the fact that you are obnoxious and disliked.
I'm very lonely, Abigail.
Then why didn't you send for your wife?
Don't be unreasonable, Abigail.
Oh, now I'm unreasonable. Add that to your list.
List?
The catalog of my faults you included in your last letter.
They were fondly intended, ma'am.
Then I play at cards back.
A compliment.
Then my posture is crooked.
An endearment.
That I read, write, and think too much.
An irony.
And that I am pigeon-toed?
Well, there you have me. I'm afraid you are pigeon-toed. Please come to Philadelphia, Abigail. Please come.
I would like to. But you know, the children have the measles.
Yes, so you wrote. Tom and little Abby.
Only now it's Quincy and Charles. And it appears that the farm in Braintree is failing. The chickens and geese have all died, and the apples never survived like frost.
The winters are softer here.
And the women, John?
Pale, puny things beside New England girls.
I thank you for that. I know, John. Salt.
Ben, I want you to see some cards that Ron had printed up that ought to save everybody here a whole lot of time and effort, considering the epidemic of bad disposition that's been going around lately. Dear sir, you are without any doubt a rogue, a rascal, a villain, a thief, a scoundrel, and a mean, dirty, stinking, sniveling, sneaking, pimping, pocket-picking, thrice double-damned, no-good son of a... Stephen, I'll take a dozen right now.
Franklin, enough socializing. There's work to be done.
Good morning, John.
Good morning. Well, let's get to it.
Let's get to what?
Unanimity, of course. There's 6 votes to win over in little more than a week.
All right, where do we start?
How about Delaware? It's sad to find her on the wrong side after all this time. Any news of Rocky?
He never complains, but I can see the poor man.
That leaves you and Reed split down the middle. Will he come over?
I don't know, he's a stubborn little snot.
Then work at him. Work at him till you wear him down.
Why, John, what's the use? If it were just Breed standing in our way, it wouldn't be so bad, but Pennsylvania, Maryland, the entire South is hopeless.
It's hopeless if we stand around complaining about it. To work, McKean. 1 foot in front of the other.
I believe I put it a better way. Never leave off till tomorrow. That which you can
Shut
do.
up, Franklin.
John, what's the use? You don't think it should never give in. And you haven't heard the last of Rutledge yet either.
Your job is George Reed. Talk him death if you have to, but bring us back Delaware.
There's a simpler way. This'll break the tie.
All right, John, who's next?
How about Maryland and Pennsylvania? I suggest you get your own house in order, and I'll take a crack at old Bacon Face. Look at him stuff himself. So, Mr. Chase, when are you coming to your senses?
Leave me alone, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Wilson, it's time to assert yourself. When you were a judge, how in hell did you ever make a decision?
All of my decisions were based on precedents. Here, there is certainly no precedent.
That's because it's a new idea, you clot. We'll be setting our own precedents.
No, Mr. McKean. No. Down your eyes, Reed. You came into this world screaming no, and you're determined to leave it the same way, you little worm.
Mr. Chase, the Congress is waiting. America is waiting. The whole world is waiting. What is that, sausage?
Leave me alone, Mr. Evans. You're wasting your time. If I thought we could win this war, I'd be at the front of your ranks. But you must know, it's impossible. You've heard General Washington's dispatches. His army has fallen apart.
Washington is exaggerating the situation in order to arouse this torpid Congress into action.
And when they hang you, Mr. Adams, I hope you'll put in a good word for the rest of us.
These facts, Mr. Evans. A handful of drunk and disorderly recruits against the entire British army. How can we win? How can we even hope to survive?
Answer me straight, Chase. If you thought that we could beat the Redcoats, would Maryland say yay to independence?
Well, I suppose...
No supposing, Chase. Would Maryland welcome independence if it were given?
Very well, yes we would.
Then come with me to New Brunswick.
Are you mad, John? You heard what Washington said. It's a shambles.
They're pushing you into it, Johnny.
All right, why not? Maybe when John Adams comes to sense.
Sounds lively as hell down there. McNair, all this talk of independence has left a certain foulness in the air. My friends and I would appreciate if you could open a window.
May we have your ears, gentlemen? Mr. Thompson has a dispatch from the commander, Army of the United Colonies in New York. Dispatch number 1158. To the Honorable Congress, John Hancock, President. Dear sir, I awoke this morning to find that General Howe has landed 25,000 British regulars and Hessian mercenaries on Staten Island, and that the fleet under command of his brother, Admiral Lord Howe, controls not only the Hudson and East Rivers, but New York Harbor, which now looks like all of London afloat. I can no longer, in good conscience, withhold from the Congress my certainty that the British military object at this time is Philadelphia. And that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Very well. The Congress has now heard the report of the Declaration Committee. Are there any who wish to offer amendments, alterations, or deletions to the Declaration? Gentlemen, please. Mr. McNair, you'd better open a window. Colonel McKean, I saw your hand first.
Mr. Jefferson, it's a bonny paper you've written, but somewhere in it you mentioned foreign and Scottish mercenaries sent to destroy us. Scottish, Tom?
It's in reference to a Highland regiment which stood against us at Boston.
It was more likely Germans wearing kilts to disguise their being there. I asked you to remove the passage and avoid giving offense to a good people.
The Reverend Witherspoon?
Mr. Jefferson, nowhere do you mention the Supreme Being. Certainly, it was an oversight, for how could we hope to achieve a victory without his help? Therefore, I was humbly suggest that the following addition be added to your final sentence. With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence.
Mr. Reed?
Among your charges against the king, Mr. Jefferson, you accuse him of depriving us of the right of trial by jury. This is untrue, sir. In Delaware, we have always had trials by jury.
In Massachusetts, we have not.
Oh, then I suggest the words "in many cases" be added.
In many cases. Oh, brilliant. I suppose every time you hear those 3 words, your puny little chest will pop up with pride of your great historical contribution.
Remember both of your unprincipled whitewashers and racist barbarians!
Mr. Reed, Colonel McKean, that's enough. Mr. Hopkins?
No objections, Johnny, I'm just trying to get a drink.
Should have known. Big Mayor, get him a rum.
Mr. Bartlett?
Mr. Jefferson, I beg of you to remember that we still have friends in England.
Yeah, let's agree.
I see no point in antagonizing them, especially if we have unfeeling brethren, enemies at war. Our cause is the British people, not the British.
Be sensible, Bartlett. Remove those phrases and the entire paragraph becomes meaningless. And it just so happens it's among the most stirring and poetic of any passage in the entire document.
We are in Congress, Mr. Adams, not a literary society. I ask that the entire paragraph be stricken.
Yeah. Good God, Jefferson, don't you ever intend to speak up for your own work?
I hope that the work could speak for itself.
Mr. Hancock,
What is it, Mr. McNair?
I can't say I'm very fond of the United States of America as a name for a new country.
I don't care what you're fond of, Mr. McNair. You are not a member of this Congress. Mr. Sherman, Brother Jefferson, I noted at least 2 distinct and direct references to the British Parliament in your declaration. Do you think it is wise to alienate that august body that they never had any direct authority over us anyway?
This is a revolution, damn it. We're going to have to offend somebody. John, have an attack of apoplexy if you're not careful. Have you heard what they're doing to it? Have you heard?
Yes, John, I've heard.
And so far it's only been our friends. Can you imagine what our enemies will do?
The word parliament will be removed wherever it occurs.
They won't be satisfied till they remove one of the F's from Jefferson's name.
Hurry, John. It won't last much longer.
Mr. Jefferson, I have very little interest in your paper there, as there's no doubt in my mind we have all but heard the last of it. But I am curious about one thing. Why do you refer to King George as a tyrant?
Because he is a tyrant.
I mean that this tyrant is still your king.
When a king becomes a tyrant, he thereby breaks the contract binding his subjects to him. By taking away their rights.
Rights that came from him in the first place.
All except one. The right to be free comes from nature.
Exactly.
Mr. Wilson, do we in Pennsylvania consider King George a tyrant?
Well, no, he's not a tyrant. In Pennsylvania.
I demand the word tyrant be removed.
Just a moment, Mr. Thompson. I do not consent. The king is a tyrant, whether we say so or not. We might as well say so. Already then scratch it back in. Put it back, Mr. Thompson. The king will remain a tyrant. Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Jefferson, nowhere do you mention deep sea fishing rods.
Fishing rights? How long is this piddling to go on? We have been sitting here for 3 full days, have endured by my count 85 separate changes, and and the removal of close to 400 words. Would you whip it and beat it till you break its spirit? I tell you, this document is a masterful expression of the American mind.
Very well. If there are no more changes, then I can assume that the declaration...
Just a moment, Mr. President. Look out. Wonder if I could prevail upon Mr. Thompson to read again a small portion of Mr. Jefferson's declaration. The one beginning, he has waged cruel war.
Mr. Thompson, he was expected, he has complied, he is advocated, thunder. Strange, excited, innocent. Here it is. He has waged cruel war against human nature itself, in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, determined to keep open a market where men should
That will suffice, Mr. Thompson. I thank you. Mr. Jefferson, I can't quite make out what it is you're talking about.
It's slavery, Mr. Rutledge.
Ah, yes, you're referring to us as slaves of the king.
No, sir. I am referring to our slaves, black slaves.
Black slaves? Well, why didn't you say so, sir? Are you trying to hide your meaning?
No, sir.
Just another literary license, then.
If you like.
I do not laugh at all, sir. To us, in South Carolina, black slavery is our peculiar institution. A cherished way of life.
Nevertheless, we must abolish it, for nothing is more certainly written in the Book of Faith than that this people shall be free.
I'm not concerned with what's written in the Book of Faith right now, sir. I'm concerned with what's written in your little paper there.
That little paper there deals with freedom for Americans.
That's right.
Mr. Adams is now calling our black slaves Americans. Are they now?
They are. They're people and they're here. If there's any requirement, I have never heard of it.
They are here, yes, sir. They are not people. They are property.
They are people who are being treated as property. And I tell you, the rights of human nature are deeply wounded by this infamous practice.
Then see to your own wounds, Mr. Jefferson. You are a practitioner, are you not?
Yes, he is.
I have already resolved to release my slaves.
Then I'm sorry, for you have also resolved the ruination of your personal economy.
Economy. Always economy. There's more to this than a filthy purse string, Rutledge. It's an offense against man and God.
It's a stinking business, Mr. Rutledge, a stinking business.
That's right. Is it really, Mr. Hopkins? And what's that I smell floating down from the north? Could it be the aroma of hypocrisy?
Hypocrisy.
Or who holds the other end of that filthy purse string, Mr. Adams? Gentlemen, you mustn't think our northern friends merely see our slaves as figures on a ledger. No, sir, they see them as figures on a block. Notice the faces at the auctions, gentlemen. White faces on the African wars. New England faces. Seafaring faces. Put them in the ships. Stuff them in the ships. Cram them in the ships. Hurry, gentlemen. Let the auction begin.
For the love of God, Mr. Rutledge, please.
It's done. Adams, Franklin, I have it. And the Maryland Assembly's approved it. I told them about one of the greatest military engagements in history. Against a flock of... What's wrong? I thought...
You'll have to forgive them, Mr. Chase. They've just suffered a slight setback. After all, what has a man profited if he gains Maryland and loses the entire South?
McNair. I know, it was. No, wrong. Please.
We've no other choice, John. The slavery clause has to go.
What are you saying?
It's a luxury we can't afford.
A luxury? 500,000 souls in chains, and Dr. Franklin calls it a luxury. Maybe you should go sit with the South.
You forget yourself, sir. I founded the first anti-slavery society on this continent.
Don't wave your credentials at me, Franklin. Maybe it's time you have them renewed.
The issue here is independence. Maybe you've lost sight of that fact, but I have not. How dare you jeopardize our cause when we've come so far? These men, no matter how much you disagree with them, are not ribbon clerks to be ordered about. They are proud, accomplished men, the cream of their colonies. And whether you like it or not, they and the people they represent will be part of this new nation that you hope to create. Either start learning how to live with them or pack up and go home. But in any case, stop acting like a Boston fishwife.
What has happened to me? John Adams, the great John Adams, wise man of the East, my law practice down the pipe, my farm mortgage to the hilt, in a stage when other men prosper, I'm reduced to living in Philadelphia. Oh, Abigail, what am I going to do?
Do, John?
I need your help.
You don't usually ask my advice.
Well, doesn't appear to be anybody else around.
Oh well, John, what is it?
The entire South has walked out on this Congress. George Washington is on the verge of total annihilation. And the precious cause which we've labored for these several years has come to nothing. And it seems that I am obnoxious and disliked.
Nonsense, John.
That I'm unwilling to face reality.
Foolishness, John.
That I am pig-headed.
Well, John, you are piggish.
Has it been any kind of a life for you, Abby? God knows I haven't given you much.
I've never asked for more. After all, I am Miss John Adams. That's quite a lot for one lifetime.
Is it, Abby?
Think of it, John, to be married to the man who's always first in line to be hanged.
Yes, the agitator. You must tell me why it is, Abigail. I've found that I've always been discontent, but I find recently I reek of discontentment. It fills my lungs and floods my brain, and sometimes I fear that there is no longer a dream, but only the discontentment.
John, how can you know so little of yourself? And how can you think so little of me that you think I'd marry the man you describe? Do you remember what you used to say to me? Commitment, Abby, commitment. There are only two creatures of value on the face of this earth. Those with a commitment and those who require the commitment of others. Do you remember, John?
Yes, I remember.
Mr. Adams, these kegs are for you.
What's in those kegs?
Saltpeter, John.
You
Mr.
dare go and buy out every damned pin in Philadelphia.
Mr. Adams, I'm sorry to disturb you. In trying to solve my dilemma, I remembered something I'd once read. That a representative owes people not only his industry, but his judgment. And that he betrays them if he sacrifices it for their own. It was written by Edmund Burke, a member of the British Parliament.
Okay then, gentlemen. Okay, sit down. Very well. Call the roll, Mr. Thompson. And I remind you, gentlemen, that a single nay vote will defeat the entire purpose. New Hampshire. New Hampshire says yay. New Hampshire says yay. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts says yay.
Massachusetts says yay. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island says yay.
Rhode Island says yay. Connecticut says yay. Connecticut says yay. New York. New York State. For yay. State. New Jersey. New Jersey says yay. New Jersey says yay. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Mr. Secretary, Pennsylvania isn't ready yet. Come back to us later.
Lindy Pass. Delaware.
Delaware. Vote says yay.
Maryland says yay.
Maryland says yay. Virginia.
Virginia says yay.
Virginia says yay. North Carolina.
North Carolina respectfully yields to South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Well, Mr. Adams,
Well, Rutledge,
Mr. Adams, you must believe I will do as I promised to do.
what do you want, Rutledge?
Remove the offending passage from your declaration.
If we did that, we'd be guilty of what we ourselves are rebelling against.
Exactly. Nevertheless, remove it, or South Carolina will bury now and forever your dream of independence.
John, I beg you to consider what you're doing.
Mark me, Franklin, if we give in on this issue, posterity will never forgive us.
Well, that's probably true. But what will posterity think we were? Demigods? We're men, John. No more, no less. Trying to get a nation started against greater odds than a more generous God would have allowed. First things first, John. Independence. America. Or if we don't secure that, then what difference will the rest make?
Mr. Jefferson, say something.
What else is there to do?
Well, you're the one who wrote it.
I wrote all of it, Mr. Adams.
There it is, Rutledge. You've got your slavery and little could make you. Now vote damn you.
Mr. President, fair colony of South Carolina says yay.
South Carolina says
No,
yay.
North Carolina says yay.
North Carolina says yay. Georgia.
North Carolina.
Georgia.
Georgia says yay.
Look at that. Georgia says yay. Pennsylvania, second call.
Mr. President, Pennsylvania regrets for all the inconvenience that such distinguished men as Franklin, Jefferson, and Adams were put to this now. They may have kept their document intact for all it's worth. Mr. President, Pennsylvania...
Just a moment. I ask that the delegation be polled.
Dr. Franklin, don't be absurd.
A poll, Mr. President. It's a proper request.
Yes, it is. Hold the delegation, Mr. Thompson.
Dr. Benjamin Franklin. Yay. Mr. John Dickinson.
Nay.
Mr. James Wilson. Judge Wilson. There it is, Mr. Wilson. The entire question of American independence rests squarely on your shoulders. An entirely new nation waiting to be born or to die, all on your say-so. So what will it be, Mr. Wilson? Every mapmaker in the world is waiting on your decision.
Come now, James. Nothing has changed. We mustn't let Dr. Franklin create another one of his confusions. The question is clear.
Most questions are clear when someone else has to decide them.
It would be a pity for a man who has turned down hundreds of wise decisions from the bench to be remembered for the one unwise decision he made in Congress.
Come now, James. You're keeping everybody waiting. The secretary has called for your vote.
Don't rush me, John. I know what you want me to do. John Adams and Dr. Franklin are right. I'm the one who will be remembered for it.
What do you mean?
I'm not like you, John. I'm not like any man in this Congress. I don't want to be remembered.
Well, whether you want it or not, James, there's no way of avoiding it.
Not necessarily. If I go with them, I'll be one among dozens and no one will remember the name of Mr. James Wilson. But if I go with you, I'll be the man who prevented America's independence. I'm sorry, John. I didn't bargain for that.
And is that how new nations are formed? By the non-entity trying to preserve the anonymity that he so richly deserves.
Revolutions come into this world like bastard children, Mr. Dickinson. Half improvised and half compromised. Our side has provided the compromise. And now, Judge Wilson is supplying the rest.
I'm sorry, John. My vote is yay.
Mr. Secretary, Pennsylvania says yay. Pennsylvania says yay. And the count being 12 to none with one abstention. The resolution on independence is adopted.
Mr. Thompson, is the declaration ready to be signed?
I fully agree.
Then I propose we do so. And that no man be allowed to sit in this Congress without attaching his name to it.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I cannot, in good conscience, sign such a document. regard America no less than does Mr. Adams, I will join the army and fight in her defense, even though I believe the fight to be hopeless.
Gentlemen of the Congress, I say yea, John Dickinson.
Very well. Are there any objections to the declaration being approved as it now stands?
I have one, Mr. President.
You, Mr. Adams?
Yes, the word is unalienable, not inalienable.
I am sorry, Mr. Adams. Inalienable is correct.
Well, I happen to be a Harvard graduate.
And I attended William and Mary.
Gentlemen, please. Mr. Jefferson, will you yield to Mr. Adams' request?
And no, sir, I will not.
Then I will withdraw it. Good for you, John. I'll speak to the printer about it later.
Very well, gentlemen. We are about to brave the storms in a skiff made of paper. And how it will end, God only knows.
That's a pretty large signature, Johnny.
So Fat George in London can read it without his glasses. Very well, gentlemen. Step right up. Don't miss your chance to commit treason.
Well, Hancock's right. This paper is our ticket to the gallows. But there's no backing out now. If we don't hang together, we shall most assuredly hang separately.
It won't be so bad. One snap, it'll be over. Just like that. Look at Reed there. He'll be dancing a jig long after I'm gone. Forgive me, gentlemen. Army of the United Colonies, United States, in New York. Dispatch number 1209, Congressman Hancock, President. Dear Sir, I can now report with some certainty that the eve of battle is near at hand. Toward this end, I have ordered the evacuation of Manhattan and directed our defenses to take up stronger positions on Brooklyn Heights. At the present time, my forces consist entirely of Hazlitt's Delaware militia and Smallwood's Marylanders. A total of 5,000 troops stand against 25,000 of the enemy. And I begin to notice that many of them are lads under 15, like old men, none of whom could truly be called soldiers. On personal note to Mr. Lewis Morris of New York, I must regretfully report that his estates have been completely destroyed, but that I have taken the liberty of transporting Mrs. Morris and 8 of the children to Connecticut and safety. The 4 older boys are now enlisted in the Continental Army. As I write these words, the enemy is plainly in sight beyond the river. How it will end, only Providence can direct. But dear God, what brave men I shall lose before this business ends.